Given up for dead by many in college football, the Big 12 is back in a big way in 2012. Mark Rogers TV's third best conference in college football. Of course, expansion giveth and expansion taketh away. Missouri and Texas A&M go to the SEC and join Nebraska and Colorado as former Big 12 members and joining the conference. We've got West Virginia and TCU, two huge additions to bring the Big 12 back into the mix in college football. Again, the third best conference in the country. No championship game, but this league just happy to be standing and back in the mix. Let's run down the top tier of the league. We start with the favorite, Oklahoma. If you want some really in-depth information on Oklahoma, check out the video that we cut a couple weeks ago on the Sooners specifically. 4 or 5 minutes packed with Oklahoma football. What we want to tell you right here is that Landry Jones is overrated, makes bad throws in big games. He's done it for a few years. He's very good, 29 touchdowns, 15 picks, but those numbers should be off the charts. 4 to 5-1 ratio, touchdowns to interceptions for Landry Jones in this league. He's not a great quarterback. He's not elite. He throws to Stills and Matoyer. They will make huge plays. The passing numbers will be off the charts. They should be. But the running game struggled to a certain extent last year. Oklahoma's line's not great. The defense is softer than it should be despite having talent all over the place. The leadership gone at linebacker with Corey Nelson and Travis Lewis on to the NFL. Oklahoma loses 3 games this season. On to the little brother, Oklahoma State. Brandon Whedon gone. Justin Blackman gone. That spells doom in Stillwater, right? Not exactly. The recruiting base is up. This is an established program that went to a BCS game for the first time last season. Wes Lunt, freshman quarterback, thrown to the Wolves. He's got to rely on the running game with Joseph Randall and Jeremy Smith. They combined for 1,900 yards rushing and 33 touchdowns on the ground. So Oklahoma State runs it more than passes it. They develop the passing game, still have all sorts of talent at wide receiver. Oklahoma State stays in the mix. They go 6-3 in the league. Let's move it on to Texas. Texas has been down, of course, but the defense is stacked. Jackson Jeffcoat, Alex Okafor, this defense will get the job done in close games. David Ash needs to step up, of course, at quarterback. He's got guys breathing down his neck. Of course, Colt McCoy's little brother as well. David Ash, 4 touchdown passes. Of course, he didn't play the entire season, but still 4 touchdown passes. Let that sink in this league. David Ash needs to throw at least 20 touchdown passes this season to help out the defense, or he's going to be sitting on the bench. Texas gets back in the mix in the Big 12. Kansas State. Our kudos to Bill Snyder. This guy somehow gets it done with a lot of JUCO transfers coming in. Won 9 games, got to the Cotton Bowl, gave Arkansas a bit of a scare. And he doesn't have the same type of talent that we're talking about when we go with the upper tier teams in the Big 12. Colin Klein is a dual threat to the max in college football. 27 rushing touchdowns. 27 rushing touchdowns from Colin Klein. 13 TDs through the air, 6 picks. So a note to Big 12 defensive coordinators, load the box. Colin Klein is not a proficient passer. He's a dual threat. He's a gamer. He's a winner. But this team lacks defensive depth and team speed on defense in this league. They will get chewed up and they drop down further into the pack into mid-division play. Now we move on to West Virginia. The new team on the block, the new kid on the block with Geno Smith at quarterback, and he's a good guy to join the league with. He was amazing last year with 31 touchdowns, 7 picks, 68% passer. And he's got Tavon Austin, of course, who's amazing as well. 101 receptions, 8 touchdowns, and also Stedman Bailey gets the job done. 1,279 yards and 12 scores. And on the defense better than you would think. They got into some shootouts, gave up some points last year. Of course, the competition much better in the Big 12. So some of those close wins that got West Virginia to the BCS and the Orange Bowl could be more difficult, of course, this season against the teams of Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, Texas, and Kansas State and the likes, even talking about Iowa State and TCU. Darwin Cook leads this defense at strong safety. They're going to have to step it up, of course, in the secondary to compete. So this is what we love about this league. Everybody plays everybody. 9 league games, and so you don't have situations like Michigan, Wisconsin don't play this year. Georgia's got a much easier schedule in conference than South Carolina. They're the 2 best teams in the SEC East. And then, of course, in the ACC, you've got contenders like Virginia who don't play Clemson and Florida State. It brings inequity to the league and questions the championship scenario sometimes, but not in this league. So we look at the schedule, and of course the first thing that comes to mind is Oklahoma, Texas. But the game of the year and the game that's going to decide it is West Virginia traveling to Austin. Texas wins it, gives West Virginia a taste what it's like to play at Texas. Longhorn surprise, they win it. So you've got Texas winning the Big 8, or the Big 8, we're going way back there, the Big 12 at 7-2. West Virginia tied at 7-2, but the tiebreaker goes to the Longhorns with a win at home over the Mountaineers. Then you've got Oklahoma, Oklahoma State at 6-3, and Kansas State at 5-4. Call me crazy for picking Texas to win this thing. Just call me, period. Call me on the Big 12 and college football in general here on Mark Rogers TV.